Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the latest edition of the Vote 2020. I'm your host, Andre Jaho. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm just going to give people a couple minutes. If you're watching the replay, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight for this episode of 2020. We are 7 days away from the 2020 election. I hope everyone has went out to vote. All right. We have early voting, so I hope everybody has tried to do that. Those that can, if you can, I encourage you to do early voting. It makes so much of a difference. I've already done my early voting. I did it on Saturday, so I'm set. I plan on going out to the polls on election day with the cameras to interview some people and talk with them. So please get to the polls, guys. Get to the polls. Gonna give people a couple minutes to come in here really quick. All right, and then we are going to be off with the races, guys. All right, so thank you so much for joining us. All right, just testing my audio, making sure my audio is good. Leave a comment. Let us know that you are watching. And also share this video, like and share this video, and let them know that Black News Undisputed is on the air. All right, and I do have a special guest in the building, in the virtual building, obviously. All right, I want to bring her on. Oh, okay, yep. All right, so I want to welcome friend to the show, Dr. Jill Mattocks. How are you?
I am doing great. Hey, everybody. It's good to see you. And I'm excited about being here. I'm just ready to talk.
Yes.
Talk. This is one of the greatest times in history. And just to be able to converse about it is just an honor and a privilege. So greetings to all of you. Tag and share and tag. Let's talk.
Yes. Let's talk. We're going to have a good talk. Mm-hmm. God bless you, Pastor Robert Ferrer. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to give people one more minute and we are going to get started. So how was your week, Dr. Jill?
It's very good. I'm actually not on the West Coast right now. I'm on the East Coast. So It feels good to be home on the East Coast and just doing what the Lord charges me to do and what he allows me to do. So it's an awesome week. It's awesome weather where I am. I was actually on the beach today. I didn't get in the water.
I'm jealous.
You should be. I'm wrong for that, right?
Man, the beach. That sounds good right now.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's amazing to be in almost November and seeing the weather patterns of how things are now. And it really blows my mind. It's so biblical, about in the last days, you won't be able to tell the seasons apart. So yeah. I was actually just mesmerized at being able to be on the beach less than a week from November 2020. So it's good. My week is good. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, that's good. I had a good week so far too. Well, I mean, it's only Tuesday, but this past Saturday was the beginning of early voting. As everybody knows, I was at the polls. I did do my early voting. I accomplished that. It was a big turnout. I'm in Long Island. So we had a large turnout, a lot of people there. The polls opened at 10 a.m. I got there like 9:20. Waited online, but as soon as they opened the door, the line moved pretty quickly, and it was good. I got it over with. I'm happy that I did. I still have some people, even family members, that I'm trying to talk to. They're talking about mail-in ballots and stuff. I'm like, you don't really want to do that mail-in ballot stuff because they are rigging this election like right before our eyes. Okay, there was a mail-in ballot box that caught on fire. There's in certain states they're building fake mail-in ballot boxes, so when you put the ballot box, they could just take it and do whatever they want with it. I think the best way is to just go there, you do what you gotta do. You put it in the machine, and even if they rig it, at least you know that you put it in the machine. Okay.
Exactly. But the other challenge to that is because COVID is here, the pandemic is here, we really got to use wisdom. And a lot of people can't stand long on the lines, and then they're definitely going to breach the rules and regulations in lieu of social
Right.
distancing.
Yeah.
You know, I was out eating earlier. Don't judge me.
Got it. You got to eat.
I was out eating earlier, and my girlfriend slash sister, we were just looking at people, and we were like, social distance, please. So can you imagine if we're on a line in a restaurant, public place getting food, and they're not considerate about social distancing or wearing their mask, then what do you think they're going to do at the polls?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is a problem. And they're not going to take the temperature of everybody that's coming in and voting. And then the other thing is they don't want to clean after a million people because a lot of people didn't work the polls this year. That's another reason why they're doing the mail-in ballots and all of that. So it's a lot of different temperature gauging in lieu of why there has to be mail-in voting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When I was at the polls, but I mean, I guess it depends on where you're at too. I'm in
Yeah.
Long Island. I've voted and voted in Brooklyn, and it was a totally different experience. Even
Hmm.
though I feel like being in Brooklyn and Long Island, in this COVID too, so
Hmm.
they're acting a little different because of COVID. But yeah, there was no social distancing. They didn't have any lines on the pavement to say okay 6 feet apart,
Hmm.
anything like that. But most people had their mask on that I noticed.
Hmm.
um but I mean at this point it is what it is.
Hmm.
I just feel like we still gotta just try to get out there and vote, for those that can. and i
Yeah.
al- and I always tell people, don't complain if you did not go out and vote. There's a lot of people that are gonna complain, and they're like, I'm not voting. But then once if Trump wins, they're gonna complain. That's just my feeling. Don't
Now you
complain.
said it. You said once Trump wins, I want everybody, all the viewers, to hear what you just said.
If sorry
What?
if
No, no, don't try to
if
change it now. Don't try to change it now. Don't try to change it. You said once Trump wins. I didn't say it, y'all.
I
I
mean
didn't say it
I
first.
mean
I'm gonna say
if
it before the end of the broadcast. He's
I
gonna
mean
change his conversation to if. I'm going to say once Trump wins. And then let's just back up a little bit. And thank you for understanding my personality. Um, the thing is, in the United States, we are such a land of the free. Land of the free, do what we want, say what we want, come and go as we please. We're not a disciplined nation.
right,
Okay,
exactly,
we're just not a disciplined nation. And so we feel like we can still complain even though we didn't do our part. Okay,
exactly.
because freedom of speech,
Mm-hmm.
which is a problem. Because we used to say a street term, don't talk about it, be about it. you know.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, we are living in a time where people will say whatever they want to say, whenever they want to say it, but they did not do what was necessary in order to get the outcome that they really so desired to get. So I agree with you with that one. Don't complain, everybody, about the outcome if you didn't do your income, which is to go out and to vote, or to not even just go out and vote, but the rallying.
yeah,
I've been traveling lately, and I see rallying for another side, and the other side has less rallying and going out and promoting and pushing for those votes to increase.
yeah, yep, exactly. And a lot of times, like I know Joe Biden's camp, certain people in Kamala Harris camp, they got coronavirus. So so they actually, that's why she had to go quarantine. So they actually have a reason why they haven't really been campaigning the way that they would want to. um but Trump and his people, they don't really care, so they're just in it to win it, whatever they got to do. But as we say, with people going out to the polls, if you can go out and stand online for all night long for a pair of Jordans or even an iPhone. Like the same people that would do that are probably not even gonna go to the polls. That's the thing that gets me upset.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
have a point there because the priorities of what's really important and the
Right.
perspective of individuals of all ethnicities, it's really heartbreaking and heart wrenching to watch, how we devalue the land of the free, the
Yeah.
United States of America, where everybody wanted to come to our country, and then how we devalue it
Hmm.
being here and having the accessibility to so much, and that,
Yeah.
that we don't know the worth of what we have access to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. I wanted to say hi to some people in the comments real quick. Anthony Robinson, that's a good brother right there. Anthony Robinson, everybody check him out on his page. He is doing some great things right now. He has a program where he's getting people to to get jobs right now that are being discriminated against in the African American and Hispanic community. So kudos to you, Mr. Anthony Robinson. Thank you so much for joining. Um, Thank you so much, Kathy Jeanette Fisher. I just see you put some prayer hands up. Thank you so much. And Bryant, my friend Brian is back on, friend to the show, hosts some shows with me here on Black News Undisputed. So he has a comment, and he's gonna get this ball rolling with the comments. All right. So he says, but the people still voted for Hillary Clinton and the electorals voted for Trump. And that's how he got in. So technically, didn't the people do what they were supposed to do?
No, because I mean it's simple. When you take uh, uh, a tally, if you will, if you total all of Americans and you tally that up in conjunction with who voted, it does not equal the numbers. Let's say it like this: the numbers does not add up. So no, everybody didn't do what they're supposed to do. It came to the point where, like you said, people, millennials of all nationalities and ethnicities did not go out and do what they should have done. But had it been a new Apple phone or one of those games that they play, gaming is a big deal in our country. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Had it been the new TV that's out or whatever, they would have done more to acquire those things than to invest in what's important and what's going to benefit us in the long run, not to be personable or selfish in their decision making. And this is what happens in our country, quote unquote, the land of the free.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. Now, I don't know if they would need to say, hey, all right, everybody that comes out, we're going to give you like a device or something. You're going to get a free iPhone or something. But I mean,
There shouldn't
you
have
got
to
the
be an
money.
incentive for you to do
It
what
shouldn't
you
have
need
to
to
be.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's childish, so to speak. That if you clean up your room and you do it without me having to tell you, I'll get you the latest Jordans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
get you the latest Jordans, but my rent is 2 months behind.
Yeah.
Because something is gonna go lacking. You know what I mean? In that instance, but I'm just saying, just getting to the place where we do what we know we need to do, to get the outcome that we're expecting.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And I have a good example of that too. Even in my household, the grandparents will pay my kids to like do little stuff for them. Oh, can you rearrange my like can you put the laces in my shoes or something? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like, a little change or whatever. Okay. That's what grandparents do. It's fine. I have no problem with that. But then when I say, all right, make sure that sink is empty, how much you gonna pay me? I said that your payment is not for me to tell your tail. That's gonna be your payment.
Good answer.
You're not gonna get a whooping tonight.
Oh God.
That's how I grew up, old school. If I ever asked my mother, could she pay me to to do a chore?
She don't pay me no mind is what she's gonna
Yeah,
do. That's how she's
Exactly.
gonna pay me, no mind.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
at the end of the day, we didn't question our parents like these children do now. We just did not question them. But again, this is another time span. It's a new era, it's a new day. Everything is abuse.
Hmm.
Everything
Yep. Yep.
is abuse. So we have to comply in order not to be fined or to bring embarrassment to the household.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know. But
yeah.
so usually, so we're gonna get into politics, but since I have you on, Dr. Joe, I gotta pick your brain on a couple things. Whenever Dr. Jill is on, ladies and gentlemen, the show is not gonna be normal. Okay, so so
That makes me sound like I'm not normal. No, I know what you mean.
it's not gonna be a typical show. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this today, and I'm
Okay.
like, 2020 um was not a good year so far. It has not been. Now there are some people that will disagree. Well, most people are going to say yes, it was a bad year, but then you have other people that are writing books. People have probably gotten jobs. People have accomplished things in 2020. I see people that are having this catchphrase, producing in a pandemic, like they're writing books, they're doing this. Yes, that's all good. But I looked at it and I said, what is the first thing that was a sign that 2020 was going to be a bad year? The first thing that happened. Do you know the first thing that happened in 2020 that kind of gave off a sign that it was going to be a bad year?
Well, I don't agree with it being a bad year.
Mm.
Okay. But I would say for those that want to say that, I
Mm.
would say go biblical. I got to go
Mm.
prophetic. Was
Mm.
the winds
Okay.
between January and March 1st of 2020. There was ridiculous winds. We call it the east wind.
Right.
And these winds were so uncommon till we should have known something is stirring in the earth because no human being controls the winds.
Right.
No human being controls the waves. We know that. Okay, so it was very uncommon and it was just so out of the ordinary, and it kept happening repeatedly over and over again. I mean, the next week it would be 80 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour wind. I remember one night I was out with my crazy self. I didn't realize that what was actually going on because I just do what I want to do like a dummy. Okay. And without watching the news and really understanding what was going on. And I came outside and my umbrella it was like away with the wind. I thought that the wind was literally going to pick me up with the umbrella and just swirl me around. That's
Wow.
how horrible the weather was. And I prayed. I never forget. I was like, Lord, just please let me get home. I said, the rod is for the fool's back. I said, but please, I couldn't understand what was actually going on. So I would say the winds was the first sign for me.
Okay.
And whenever things like that happen, so uncommon, and it continuously occurs, I always take these things as signs.
Right.
I definitely do not consider it as no Mother Nature, an act of Mother Nature and things like that. No, no, no. We have to begin to pay attention to the elements, and what God is allowing to transpire will always give you an inclination about something is getting ready to happen. Because when you look at when it stirs, right? So
Yep.
then the common mind would say something's stirring.
Yeah, exactly.
Something's getting ready to happen. When the dust settles, when all of this settles, what's going to happen? I'm telling you, if you go back and look at the weather and all of that, as soon as those winds kind of settled, the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my view on that.
Okay. Okay. Yep. And I agree. And I want to clarify something. And that's why when we have Dr. Jill on, ladies and gentlemen, she is a teacher and we can all learn something. And that's why I can go back to these things and learn how to really, say what I really mean to say. So yes, I wouldn't say 2020 is a bad year. I would say it's a surprising year at best.
A
I would say.
challenging year.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you.
Okay.
Very, very challenging year. And Brian put it in the comments too. And this is exactly what I was thinking.
Come on, Brian.
That the first thing that made me feel like, whoa. And I actually didn't think about it until now, but Kobe Bryant passing away was like one of the first deaths that like really was like, what are you talking about? It happened on a Sunday. I was at church. We hear that he died in the car crash. Then like
an airplane.
Sorry, helicopter. Yeah, helicopter, because he like travels in the helicopter all the time. Just knowing that, it was like it was crazy. I think your mic is muted, Dr. Joe.
Yeah, I try to mute it because
okay.
We're talking.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm definitely in agreement with you and Brian. It didn't affect me. It did alarm me.
Right.
It did give us a sense of sensitizing that anybody can die. Like people were like, well, Kobe Bryant. All right. So we understand that he is an icon in the athletic world, but he's a human.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that we don't prepare for death. We just feel like certain people shouldn't die, or certain people shouldn't get in trouble, or certain things shouldn't happen, when our whole mindset needs to change concerning that.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it affected me. It's not like I lost sleep, but it was like, wow, like it was a little sad, a little troubling inside. It's like,
yeah. I say the daughter. What really intrigued me about the whole thing is I'm gonna go godly. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm not going to say she was his favorite child, but they had so much in common. And for the Lord to allow them both to go the same day, knowing that she wouldn't be able to live without her father and live a wholesome and healthy and mental, life without him.
Yeah.
I mean, the other children, they're suffering, yes, but they're still living. That wife, she's still living. She's doing her thing now.
Yeah.
She ain't went somewhere and sat down. She ain't mourning long. She wasn't on that morning bitch long. Hello. She got that check. She cashed that check, and she used those dollars to wipe those tears away. Glory to God. But that's just my opinion. But the daughter, that young girl, and look how much she accomplished.
Yeah.
And she transitioned out right with her father. And even the mother said it. I call her Lady Bryant. She said the daughter wouldn't have had it any other way. She would not have wanted to live without her father. So things like that amaze me at how God allows things. As I teach, I always teach, think about the ways of God. Like, we don't understand it, but think about the way that he allowed that to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And how it affected the entire, my son is making comments, the entire world. Okay. My son knows I'm hilarious. He's too much.
Yes. So speaking of dollars, and I'm glad you said that. Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
Her family gets paid $20 million. And I feel like it was like, here, take $20 million and leave us alone now. Shut up. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I'm like, if one of my kids died, like was killed like that, is me getting $20 million really gonna make me feel better? It's like, even when you talk about revenge, is that officer going to jail gonna make me feel better? No. I mean, I'll feel better in the sense that that cop can't do it to somebody else again.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, there's no justice. The sheetrock got more justice than Breonna Taylor. As they want to call it, what they call it, wanton endangerment.
Yes.
Where you just shooting into, shooting without knowing where you're shooting. Yes. So it's like, that's more justice than actual Breonna Taylor. But they did get $20 million. I mean, if I got $20 million just because and nobody had to die, I would be very happy. But if I have to lose someone I really care about for 20 million, I don't know. I really don't know. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so let me twist it and twist everybody's face up.
And one more thing. And I'm talking about, okay, like your son, like I'm talking about like your flesh and blood, whatever. Someone that you like, if they were to die tonight, you would probably go crazy. And then they say, okay, well, here's $20 million. Like, okay, what's your thought? Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I've had people that die. That's number one. And I didn't get no $20 million.
Right.
That's number one. I wish I did get the $20 million, but I didn't. All right. The other thing is, I believe before the very foundations of the earth that certain people was born to die.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people. Martin Luther King, born to die. Malcolm X, born to die. Okay. The lives and the families that assisted their mission that died prior to Harriet Tubman, the people that were with her, they were born to die. No one ever talks about that. That's why we're so shocked when death comes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why we're thrown off and we start this hating and all. No one talks about being born to die. Their mission was accomplished. Watch this. And in order for change to come, death comes first.
Right.
Okay. There's always going to be something that sets off the revolution. Okay. And revolution is here again. And I believe that Breonna Taylor was a part of it. Is her life worth more than $20 million, $20 trillion, $billion? We can't put a price tag on life.
Yeah, we can't.
Period. But let me say this. Had it been another country, you wouldn't have got that money. Only in the United States of a good right America, the land of the free. You think about it.
Yeah.
This had been
Jamaica.
any other country.
Yeah. Yep.
Would not have gotten that money.
$1, not even $1, probably.
Hello lights. You know, so that's the way I look at it. And thank God they did get something. How many other people have lost family members, and didn't receive 5 cents, nor did they get any news coverage? You understand? They didn't respect that life. So again, she was a part of the revolution that is actually taking place, that is prompting us into this new era. And whenever there's a shifting going on, you're always going to get war and you're going to get death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you heard it, folks. You heard it, folks. Leave some comments. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. But I'm glad you're here, Dr. Jill, because there's so much that's just on my mind. I know we're supposed to be talking about voting, but sometimes we gotta get these little things in here, because that's why we're voting. We're voting so we can try to make a change. But now I know you know about Amy Coney Barrett. Amy Coney Barrett. I forgot what her name is, but anyway, she's been sworn in as a Supreme Court justice. That's what Trump wanted, so she's in there now. I mean, she's in there.
Okay. Let's stop saying what Trump wanted. I think we're giving Trump, and I'm getting ready to shock everybody, I'm a Trump supporter. Andre didn't even know that. I was waiting to tell you that. Okay, stop giving him so much credit. Please, stop. Okay, it is inevitable that a female has to take a high-ranking office because of the time span of the new era that we're in. Women have been doing the job, and especially in other countries, if you will, for hundreds and hundreds of years, okay? And now, finally, if you will, a female is positioned in a position that has never occurred before. I don't care what nationality she is or she's not. She is a woman. And it is inevitable that these things transpire. So please, Let's stop giving Trump so much credit like he's God. Okay. He is placed here to do things that would have never been done because he's crazy enough and bold enough to do it, but it has to be done. Certain things have to transpire in the earth realm.
Yeah.
But who is God going to use to get it done? All right, let's sidebar because I know I got some people like, this lady is crazy. Yes, I am. Watch this. Pharaoh. He used Pharaoh to get some work done. Okay. He used Nebuchadnezzar to get some things done. He's always going to find somebody that we're opposing to first of all, grab our attention, number one. Number two, to challenge us to be realigned to righteousness. Who else? We ain't gonna listen to nobody else until we get a nut in there. We always got to have a Pharaoh in our lives, and we always got to have a Nebuchadnezzar in our life.
That makes sense.
So that's my thing. And I don't like when people give any human being the credit that they don't deserve, because he's not that powerful.
Right.
He's crazy, but I like him though, because he remind me of black people. Black people crazy. We say what we want. We do whatever we want. Guess what? And we're reigning now like never before. And I tell people, whatever happens in the White House can happen in your house. Whatever happens in the White House will always happen in the church house. Who in the Blaisdell would have ever let somebody that doesn't even have a political background win one of the highest offices, the highest office in the United States of America? Okay, let's take our attention off of that and say, well, what is God saying? What is the message there? That I can do anything I want to do. I can become anybody I want to be, and nothing or nobody can't stop me. But because we didn't believe that with Obama, he allowed another nut to come in there.
Yeah.
For us to understand. Listen, I agree with some people about some of the stuff that has transpired since he's been in office, But I always go back and I ask God, why? Why would you allow it? What are we missing? We're so busy arguing. My sister and I were talking about this earlier about how embarrassing, these debates are on both sides. It's like you're embarrassed to be an American. Okay, because they're asking questions, but they're not even answering the questions. They're like two children in romper room, waiting to slander and rip each other to shreds. Really? Is that what America has come to? Or is that what America has always been? Is it really about them, or is it about us?
Right.
And so this rigmarole that they're doing, calling a debate, it's disgusting. It's despicable. It's embarrassing. The other countries and nations are laughing at us. We've become a laughing stock. This guy has a fly in his head. The opposing office makes flyers the next day and commercials with a fly swat. That's so childish.
Yeah.
I cried. Of course, I didn't watch the debate because I don't get into that nonsense. But the aftermath of it, and I'm looking and I'm like, and so you want me to vote for you? You're just as bad as him. We're in trouble. America is in trouble. America that has the dollar that says, "In God we trust." We lied. We lied. We don't trust in God. We trust in man. We trust in horses. We trust in chariots. We don't trust in God. I'm a hug.
No, keep on going.
You didn't expect me to say that, what I said, right? I couldn't wait. I told my sister, I said, he really don't know. Nobody really knows. But let me say this. 4 years ago.
Since you said it, Brian said. My
What Brian
face,
says?
you said my face changed.
I like Brian. We should have had him on here with us. I like him. He's amazing. He's a awesome personality. I didn't even meet him yet. Let me say this. 4 years ago, someone said, well, why do you say the things that you say or whatever? First of all, I'm biblical. Number one, I stand for righteousness. Number two, I acknowledge the Lord in all my ways so that he can direct my path. Number four, the Bible says, and I will allow nothing to come upon you unaware. That's what he said. So when things like this happen, I always seek the Lord. Lord, what's going to happen? Watch this. And as I begin to seek him, I prepare I prepare myself for how he's going to answer, because I'm definitely not going to agree with him. Why? Because his ways are higher than our ways.
Right.
We're never supposed to agree with God because he's God. We're not God. And so in 2016, I was minding my own business, and here come God, and we're having this conversation, and he begins to tell me, and a Republican will take the seat. I said, oh, Jesus, please don't make me say nothing, Lord. Just like that, I did. Please, God, don't make me say nothing. I get quiet. I hear the same thing again. I kept hearing it until I just, adheres to it.
Yeah.
And again, not that I agreed, because I didn't understand. Why in the Blaisdell would you let this happen? And then I started shifting my perspective on the why and the message that he's sending to us. And I believe that everybody's missing it.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're all missing it because the opposer does not qualify, nor does Trump. It's God getting America's attention back, bringing our attention back to him. But this is necessary.
Yeah.
The voting is necessary. The debates, all of this is necessary. I don't agree with it, but I do believe that it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it. Now, you know what? I'm going to say this. And Donald Trump, before he was the president, I liked him too. Actually, I never had a problem with Donald Trump before he was the president. And as me being in the media field, and I'm watching things, even when I watch movies now, when I watch TV shows, I'm watching it with a different eye. Obviously, for people that know me, doing video and stuff like that, I'm watching movies, I'm watching the cinematography, I'm watching how they're shooting things, they're acting, I'm watching how the audio sounds, this and that. But then, when it comes to this political stuff that's going on, I'm like watching it in a different view also now, especially because I have this platform. I have to do my homework. I always followed politics, but not as much as I'm doing now. Now it's almost like it's my job to follow it now. I really have to really like watch all these things. So when I come on these shows, I know what I'm talking about. But Donald Trump, I never had a problem with him. But when you watch different shows like, okay, MSNBC, that's the channel I really watch. Sometimes I do CNN, but I'm more of a MSNBC person, not really into Fox News. I used to watch Fox News, stop watching Fox News, but when they keep on saying Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that, and we all know how the media works. The media continues to say this and they continue to say that, and when they say it so many times, it's like it's just in your head. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I was talking. I might have been talking to Brian about this the other day. I don't know if it was Brian or my friend JD, but we were talking and it was like we were saying about the mask. In the very beginning, if they said that we didn't have to, that a mask wasn't a necessity, or if they said that we have to wear this or that, you understand what I'm saying? It's like because the media says something so many times, we just go with that. It doesn't mean
Yes.
whether it's true or not. We go by what they say on the news. But
And oftentimes it's
right,
not
right.
true.
It's not like
They're selling
yeah.
information and advertisement. It's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's all about. Even with the news, making sure that the story is projecting what it needs to project to bring in finances.
Right.
United States is about that dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything for a dollar, and they can pitch a story, and the story is a bald-faced lie. And we all believe the lie until the truth comes out. And we believe this lie for 90 days, but for 9 minutes of truth, you won't hear no more about the truth. They
Right.
quickly move on to something else that's going to gravitate to pull in attention. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's all about the ratings. And again, it's just centered around money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yep. And that's sad, but you know, as you say, we gotta stay prayerful and still do our due diligence, go out and vote.
Yes, please.
Please go out and vote. So I want to report that so far as of today, more than 65.5 million votes have been cast. That's with early voting. That's over more than half of what was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a surprise for you, Dr. Jill.
Okay.
This is a last minute thing here. He was gonna come on, so he's on now. Our friend to the show, Bryant Jones.
Wow. Well, hello.
Bryant Jones, Dr. Jill Bryant.
It's nice to finally meet you.
Awesome. This is a great surprise.
Seriously, I'm not prepared at all. I'm just listening and smiling, and I'm like, I just see a message saying, "Come on in." I'm like, okay, I'm not ready at all. So pick me up. Where are we?
You're ready.
We're just having a conversation. Just to let you know, Dr. Jill, Brian is one of my best friends. I've known him since the 7th grade, and so basically over
long.
It's like over 25 years.
I met you in 96.
96. I can't believe I'm saying over 20 years. I'm 37. When I say over 20 years, it makes me start to feel like that's what the old folk used to say. Oh, I've known this person for over 25 years.
Oh, please. I'll be 57 in 2 months. You guys are young.
But now it's our turn to start saying it, like how history repeats itself. My brother-in-law used to always tell me when I was young, I used to go outside with no jacket or doing stupid stuff. Like one time I jumped off of Andre's roof. He said, "That's gonna catch up to you later."
We used to do backyard wrestling. We used to have fun.
We loved it so much. So we used to try to do the best we can. I jumped off his roof. He said, "That's gonna catch up to you." Well, yeah, my back hurt.
Your back hurts now. And it comes from you jumping off roofs.
I shouldn't have done it. Nope. I should have done. I should have kept reading. That's what
exactly.
I should have kept reading instead of jumping off of roofs. And now it caught up to me. So that's a little backstory.
Yeah. Well, we've known each other forever, and we've kept the friendship going. So it's good to have him.
He still owes me money. That's one of the main reasons why I'm still here.
You know what? You are too much. You guys are too much, honestly.
I'm still waiting for that $100.
I'm working on it. All right. I gotta buy these kids some food.
We'll give it to you out of the next stimulus check.
Oh,
that's what I told them.
When is that coming?
If a Democrat is voted in, you won't get one.
Well, see, now you started a conversation.
I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna start a fire.
I've seen so many. And mind you, now I heard what you said. You're a Trump supporter, and I'm cool with that. I can care less. People can support whoever they want to support. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm just an American at this point. I don't see nothing changing regardless of who goes in.
Awesome.
But with the stimulus, that was something that was the Democrats. That's the House. But people keep saying it's Trump. And when I explain to people, no, actually, this is the House. Which I'll admit, when we had that last voting for who we're going to put in the House, I did vote. Honestly, my wife made me. I didn't want to, but I did it. And I voted for the Democrats to be in the House. I said, you know what? I was taught, honestly, I'm guilty of it. I was taught black people should just only vote Democrat. That's just what I was taught, basically.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Sure.
I want to say thank you for being so transparent, okay, in that last statement. And most people are Democrats because they seen their mother be a Democrat, their grandmother be a Democrat. It's taught. Likewise, Republicans. You know, oh, my mother was a Republican, my father was a conservative, and we keep repeating the cycle. So I'm so glad that you said that.
And we do. We keep repeating that. That's just what I was taught. Hey, you never vote for a Republican. You vote for Democrat. They're the ones who care. And honestly, I haven't seen anything change.
And it was almost like a threat. Come on, it was almost like we were threatened to be, if your mother was a Baptist, you're a Baptist. You better not be no Methodist. Like Methodist has a stench or something.
I used to make fun of Andre's church. What was your church, Andre? Inter-denominational?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Interdenominational.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
yeah.
I used to make fun of his church.
Non-denomination, and it was like my mother was born Baptist, but she shifted over to Kojic, and then she was a look, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to be who I need to be for me. So honestly, I really, really, really appreciate you stating that you've helped at least 7,000 people.
I hope so, because it's just the truth. This is what I was taught. So it didn't matter who was having a debate. I automatically was listening to the Democrat. I'm like, you know what? He's the one. He's the one. He's the one. And then we put a couple of years ago, we put Democrats in the House, and they're the ones that's been holding up the stimulus. How Canada getting money every month? The UK got money I think some places in the UK, depending on the family, they've been getting like $4,000 a month. We got one check. That's held us.
Wait a minute, I still ain't get my check yet.
Oh well, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Brian, you want that? I'm one of the 4 million people, and I called the IRS, if you will. I called them, and the lady was so sweet. She says, "I hate to say it and put it like this, but you're one of the 4 million that didn't get their check."
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's money still sitting.
Oh, there's money
that hasn't been released. Yeah.
And I looked it up. I did a little research. And the last time we received the stimulus package was in 2008/2009. Okay.
Oh, that was Bush.
Remember,
Bush office, right?
But what was Bush though?
He was a Republican.
Oh, that's all. I closed my mouth.
I didn't get that much because I was younger, but I appreciated my 250. It just showed up in the bank. I said, "What's this?"
Come on.
I got gas.
Yeah, so let me say this now. Here's what I said.
I said, but I had gas.
Every Democrat should give back the check. Oh, what you cash the check for?
Yeah.
Give back the check.
You took the check. You took the check. Andre, did you get a check?
I probably did. I don't remember that long ago. Probably did. I don't know what I spent it on.
You forgot when you got free money? Well, then again, you took free money from me, so I remind you, you got some free money.
I'm gonna kick you off this show.
No, don't kick him off. Don't kick him off the show, please.
But you should never forget where you get. I can tell you everywhere where I found money. Okay.
Oh, we got to do another show on finding money.
I found money walking on the street in Brooklyn.
No, grant money. There's so much money in America that you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, I live in Delaware now, and I got Delaware somehow. I got Delaware to pay for me to go to CDL school, so I didn't have to come out my pocket. There is free money everywhere.
Come on here, Brian.
It's everywhere, but I'm gonna say, as Black people. We don't know where, first of all, because we're looked down upon when we get free money. Automatically, we're looked down upon. But I've seen, and I'm not trying to sound racist, I ain't trying to sound like a bigot, whatever word is out there, but I've seen Jewish people on them lines, and they're lawyers, they're doctors, they own their own business, but yet they somehow get that free money that's floating around. They get that they get them EBT cards.
Oh yes.
And nobody says anything. We
That's right.
actually laugh it off because half the time people know they're scheming. They say, look at them, Jewish people scheming, and laugh it off. But if one of us do it, it's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on Instagram. They're going to gossip. They're going to say this. They're going to say that and make us look so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I had friends of mine. I went on workers' comp for about a year because I hurt my back at work. And I had friends of mine talking so much junk. I had coworkers, actually not coworkers, my supervisor was having a briefing about me being on workers' comp. I said, why am I a topic? Don't y'all have planes to move? Me being on workers' comp should not be a topic, but it was. But an Asian guy hurt his ankle. It was out for a while, and he acted like it was the end of the world. Like, hey, we're short a guy. We don't know what we're going to do. We're so short. This is bad. But when I went, it was like, he's out here scheming. I had my own friends telling me, why are you scheming the system? I worked to get workers' comp. If I hurt myself, I'm entitled to use it. But we're not looked that way. When we get free money, we're lazy.
But that's also a taught behavior, a learned behavior as well. I will agree. Yeah.
And it's frustrating. I don't know if you heard the passion in me, but it's frustrating because we can get that free money. It's out there. Okay. Like we just never were taught everything that, we need to. I'm not saying we need to be taught to get free money, but it's there. We just either too embarrassed to go look for it.
To take the time out to research it and then to fill out the paperwork. It's a process. And a lot of people don't want to go through the process, and they say it's not worth it because they would rather it just to be done in 6 hours or 6 minutes or just to appear in their accounts without doing anything.
Yeah, they just want to call the number and say,
yeah, and then just give out my banking information and voila.
Yeah,
that's what that's about.
They're embarrassed to stand on those lines outside before the place even opened. I know what it's like. You see the line of people like, oh, this is the office, okay, and you're standing out there waiting just because you need some help. A lot of the times you just need help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, but we were taught. No, you can't do that.
Wait a minute, Andre. Chapman put, Lord, they gonna make us pay that check back anyway.
Yeah. and she's probably right.
My God.
Another 3-4 years from now, you're gonna remember that stimulus check y'all got? Yeah, we actually did tax that. So
taxing the stimulus check. That's crazy.
Is that crazy? That was good. Thank you.
Did we get taxed for the one that Bush gave us?
I'm sorry.
I don't recall. Did we get taxed for the one that Bush gave us? I don't recall.
I don't think we got taxed for it. I pulled up the article a little while ago. I don't think we got taxed for it. Did we, Linda? No. She said no.
My brother-in-law, he still will not touch his stimulus money. He's like, I'm leaving that alone. I'm not touching it.
That's fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's a learned behavior as well. We always think that something and somebody's trying to set us up. Boy, cash that check.
Listen, if they're trying to set us up or not, I needed gas. My wife needed some gas. We had to buy some. We had to do. The money came, and it's gone.
Right on time. It was a blessing, right?
It was a blessing. And if they charge us later,
hey, that's in disguise. Come on,
that's why we go to work so we can pay the taxes later. So
exactly.
I can't worry about what's going to happen in the future in that sense. Because whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Exactly.
You can't stop it from
happening. Exactly. Yes. So Brian, did you do early voting? I don't think I spoke to you about that yet.
I don't think it's going on out here right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I haven't seen anything about early voting here yet. But when the time comes, we'll go down and do what we got to do. I heard what you said earlier about when I put up the comment about the electorals, I just need somebody to explain it to me. It's never gonna make sense to me how Hillary Clinton got 65 million votes from the people. Well, there it goes. She got she got the 65 million. He got 62, but those 270 electorals is what got him in. But I always hear people say nobody went out and voted, but it looks like the people said this is who we want, and then the electoral said, "Oh, that's cute, but this is who we actually want." Oh, so y'all want Hillary? All right, we're gonna fix it because it's not Hillary. So we'll fix it for you, Trump. You know, it bothers me. Like, why can't we just do away with? Because this is the second. I'm only 36. This is the second time in my lifetime I've seen electorals take over. Because Al Gore won the people, but Bush won the electorals. And then this time around,
because the electorals are always going to be able to dominate because they run and rule the country.
I told Andre the other day, I said, this country is bought and sold by some other people. And I think right now they're just trying to tear this country down. It's like, all right, it's America's turn to look like the laughing stock.
And you know what? I just had this conversation earlier. It's not our time. We already look crazy. You know why? Because first of all, there's no unity, number one. Number two, there's no discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The pandemic sidebar came to bring discipline to an undisciplined nation and country. All right. We have no order. We are cutthroat people mentality. We have no, I call it the corporate standards that we just band together honestly to really become the greatest nation. Could you imagine if we can just come together? I call it the power of agreement on what's best. But because we have been allotted given too much freedom of choice, freedom of speech, freedom of every daggone thing, till we have no structure and no order. Okay. And so therefore we cannot be the strongest nation anymore, because when you leave out of this country, all right, and you go and visit and or live in another country, you see how the country is run, how the hierarchy is run. Okay. And we, the citizens, are subject. And if we don't become subject, there is a penalty to pay. There is a consequence that you will pay for not yielding to the hierarchy of that nation and or country. But over here in the United States of America, you can get on Twitter and go back and forth with the president. That should not be. We have no reverence for leadership. We have no reverence for hierarchy at all, because we say and do whatever we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
No reverence.
You can't go to England and talk junk about the Queen.
I bet you that. Huh?
You talk about the Queen, they come.
You ain't gonna do that in Africa either.
No.
You talk about the Queen, or you talk about the king over in Africa, and they're gonna have your head on a platter. But over here in the United States of America, we do what we want. We have no discipline and no reverence for anything or anybody. And that's why that lie on our dollar bill, in God we trust, they don't even trust in God. They trust in horses and chariots and money, mammon. And that's why we're in trouble.
Oh yeah, we definitely in trouble. But I agree with what you said though earlier. Also, before I jumped on, Trump is in office for a reason. If you want to go biblical, spiritual, there's a reason why he's in there right now, and he's trying to get our attention.
Yes, and the people. As Andre opened up the segment stating who was going to be the next president.
That was probably
then he tried to change it to if. If Trump,
probably prophetic.
He said if Trump. First he said Trump will, but at any rate, however it turns out, I will say this: it is God that chooses kings and kingdoms. We have to vote. We have to be a part. We have to obey the laws of the land. We have to go through all of this. It's a part of the process. But at the end of the day, the Bible says, acknowledge me in all of your ways and I will direct your path. There is nothing in this earth that is going to happen that he does not know already. Nothing will ever take God by surprise. But what the surprise is going to be on us. Because it doesn't matter. I think one of you guys said it or both of you said it. Whoever takes that seed, we are in trouble anyway. And the church is responsible.
That was me. It definitely wasn't him.
It definitely wasn't him.
No, because he feels when Biden comes in, everything is going to be squeaky clean.
Yeah, because he said
no more police brutality, which has been going on forever. everybody says, I'm tired of police brutality. Go vote.
Yeah,
it's not going to change.
Yeah, if we don't come together, and the church is not together, and the church is not together at all. So I believe that we should rule, but we're not together. It's so much controversy, so much competition, so much cutthroat right in the church. And so the same thing that's happening in the White House is happening in the church house. And then it comes into our house. And we got a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. We in trouble. I just can't wait till Tuesday. I'm ready to see what's coming next. What's getting ready to happen next. Because I look at everything now. This is a sitcom for me. I'm ready for the season to end. Let's start season 2, or no. This will be what if Trump goes in. This will be what season 5 of everything. So if he goes in, I'm ready for season 5. Let's see what happens with season 5. But if it's Biden, all right, season 1, the spinoff.
Whatever it is, the righteous is always going to reign.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. We're always going to reign because the King of Kings is really in charge. He rules and he reigns. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what's up.
Did you hear about the pastor who he prophesied that I don't know his name, but you can find him on YouTube. He prophesied that Trump was still going to be in office. Basically, he was saying that, this God is saying my church is still here and you're not going to play with my church. And he mentioned COVID and everything like that and how they're trying to force the vaccine and the sicknesses in the vaccine. Have you seen that, man?
No, I didn't see it. Andre, did you?
I don't know. Somebody sent me a video about this guy that was preaching. Are you talking about the guy that had the iMac inside of the on the stage with him?
I don't remember what was on stage, but it wasn't like a big church.
Oh no! There's a video I saw with this guy that was talking about everything, but he was in a big church, so it might be something different.
All right, no, this is a smaller church, but
okay.
He meant that's what he said. He said, my church, you're not going to play with my church. My church is still here, and I'm still in control. Is what he was saying. The God told him. And he said Trump's still going to be here, and I don't know. Now this is the part where I don't know that this is true, but he said Trump probably would suspend the election for whatever reason, which will actually halt everything and just like a state of emergency. There you go. He said he'll do a state of emergency, which will halt the elections and keep him in office for another 4 years automatically.
Well, I don't know
what the state of emergency would have. I think the closest thing that would have came to that was when he said he had it, and then people around him started having it. I say, is that state of emergency? He might say, hey, he might come out of nowhere and say, we got to take this serious. No voting. Everybody stay inside. State of emergency. And it's like, that man was right. He was telling it like.
I will let me say this. I will agree with the good pastor, except for he's adding things on. A lot of times when the Lord speaks, he never explains himself. He never explains himself. He'll just say a specific statement and leave it as is. A lot of times with prophetic, because that's what this guy called himself doing. With the prophetic, the Bible says, and we prophesy in part, and we know in part. So for those of us that are prophetic or we believe in prophecy, I did hear that Trump in 2016, I heard in my spirit, which I can be wrong because we prophesy in part and know in part, I heard a Republican will reign for 2 terms. Now, again, we prophesy in part and we know in part. So for me to shoot down the possibility of being wrong is stupid. But I believe what I heard. But we won't know that, not even on November 4th, because they're not going to choose the president until all of the votes are counted in, especially the mailed-in votes. My whole thing is, if God allows him to do the 2 terms, that means I heard him. Don't make me no better than anybody else, because other people probably had, if not the prophecy, the inclination or the calculation, but for me to add on anything else with that would be stupid and carnal. And that's what I want the church to. We were talking, my sister and I, the other day, church and state, we got to cut it out, because one does not have anything to do with the other per se. Blending both is a problem. Okay, and now all of a sudden, church wants to do politics. Go out there and win them souls. Try that. Not to say it's not biblical that we be involved, but to what aspect does God require us to be involved? If my people, which are called by my name, if you're not going to run for the office, and stop running your mouth.
Is that kind of like what Jesus? Correct me. Is that kind of what Jesus was saying years ago in the Bible when he said, "Give unto Caesar that which is Caesar"?
What unto Caesar? Yes, we have to obey the laws of the land, and God is never going to go against His word ever.
Andre, you didn't know that, did you?
So we do.
You know, I knew my Bible, huh?
Well, I thought you was gonna preach.
Watch this though.
Yeah.
My sister and I were talking about this the other day. The Bible talks about the census. I don't hear no church.
Really?
Yes, in the Old Testament.
Let me get comfortable. Where is this at?
Go do your research.
Let me put the arms on my seat now.
I'll give you stuff to go study. All you got to do is put in census. Okay? But I don't hear nobody talking about the census. And the census is important.
Yeah.
It's very important. And it
besides this year, I always avoided
it. That's what I'm saying. But I don't hear nobody teaching and talking about it.
That's what I was taught, that you, when the census people come, you don't answer the door, just like the Jehovah's Witness.
See, that's learned behavior. And so we haven't been accounted for as a people, because we were taught when the census people come around to close the door. Guess why? Because most people was on public assistance, and they wrote down that the husband wasn't in the household and he was there. And when the census man came, he had another different pigmentation in his skin. And so we want to tell him that there was 10 people in the house, because on that daggone card that they was filled out, they put down 4.
And that's why, and that's why
they were migrating immigrants, if you will, into our country. All right, Americans. And when it was time for the census, how many people are in your household? When they came here to visit from other countries and never went back, never went for their green card. Okay.
Wow.
Things that make you go, So again, let's talk about what really should be talked about as preachers, as Christians, as people that's upstanding and proper standing with God. Let's talk about what the Bible really says. But how many preachers have you heard talk about the census?
0. Never heard it in my life.
Thank you very much. And it's in the Bible. So they should be telling everybody in their church. Let me hush, because I'm going left.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Keep going.
I'm actually enjoying it. Actually, the last time you started going left a while ago, you started talking about foods we're not supposed to eat, and I'm still waiting to hear about salmon. Don't tell me I can't eat no salmon.
Oh, the scavenger.
Yes,
We
I
have
went
a
about a
very
month ago.
good.
I remember that combo. I was like,
But
wait,
we'll
she's not
talk
she's
about
not even
that
gonna say the
another
food.
time. I'm so glad that you
I
guys
like when you
find me
go left.
intriguing.
Huh?
Say it again.
Okay, I'm so glad you guys find me intriguing. That's nice. That's
Oh
nice.
yeah.
Thank you.
When you start going left, it's getting real. And you got real with that food, and I
Well,
love my
Andre,
salmon.
again,
So.
we're gonna have to come back. I think it's like 10 after 9 already.
Yes,
So
it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it
yeah,
is.
it
So,
gets good and we'll keep going. It'll be 10 o'clock, but I have an appointment.
yes, yes, yes. But thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for coming on, Brian, Dr. Jill. Thank you always. Anytime you come on, you always stir our minds to think more, and we want to thank you. And Dr. Jill, you're just real. You know what I'm saying? You are not the typical preacher. You know what I'm saying? And that's what draws me to you.
Thank you.
Especially when I first met you back in Queens. On what was it
Shelton Boulevard.
Something Boulevard? Went in there, said, "Yep, this is a different kind of preacher right here."
I
And
miss
I
home.
just believe that God loves everybody, and it's
yes,
my job to love everybody. And we have to really agree to disagree and still be respectful one to another. What I like about this platform is that no one's trying to drive their point home.
right.
I listen to you talk. We listen to Brian talk. You listen to me talk. We agree, but we disagree. Then we agree. And that's what it's all about. That's what love is. Love is what the love does. And as we begin to respect one another, then people might want to be a Christian.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly, exactly. So many times Christianity has been just like a hammer or a switch or a belt. Or you're saved because I say you're saved, and you're like 5 years old. It's like it don't
That,
work like
that
that
sounds
now.
like our old high school sometimes. You know?
So you guys
Once in a
stirred
while,
up
that's how it
something
felt
when you
like.
started talking about what we do because we were taught to do it, or we
Right,
were told to do it, or we were threatened to do
right.
it,
Yep.
so that we can remain, so the tradition can continue on and on and on and on. But God made us all unique individuals, and everybody has a mind and a heart, and we are utilizing it, by sharing and meshing one together at a round table. This is like I consider a round table, and I listen to you and you listen to me, and we glean one from another so that we can what? Grow.
Yep. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So please invite me back.
Oh yes, yes. There's so many things that we could talk about, and I definitely want to talk about that being programmed to to do this and do that. So I definitely want to have that conversation and others. So we'll talk off the air, and
Oh,
we'll
we're being
we
programmed right
will.
now, and I know you know that, Dr. Joe. We're being programmed right now for later.
Yes,
You know.
yes, we are. And that is
Mhm.
so, so true. Yes,
And
I
that's another
totally
topic. I
agree.
know.
That's a whole nother topic, but it
Uh-huh.
was necessary that you say that. And I definitely agree with you.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I,
Yes, ma'am.
whenever Andre wants to have that, I'm ready to hear you talk about that. The
And
conditioning and
Xavier gave
the
a great
programming that's
scripture.
going on with us right now. I'm
Mhm.
ready to hear you talk about that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I know I'm not blind. I'm seeing, I ain't the perfect Christian, but I was raised in the church. There's certain things that I'm seeing that's been going on within just this year alone. I'm like, they're conditioning us. They are programming it. They're trying to program us for something. And I think we all know what we're talking about here. And
Amen.
I'm gonna just stop right there. That's it for me.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So we don't want to keep you anymore, Dr. Jill. Um, Thank you, everyone that was on. John Walker, thank you so much for joining us. Latrice Chapman, Wally Joshua, Jeremy Williams Sr., thank you so much. Melissa Miller, thank you so much. And Kathy Jeanette Risher, thank you so much for joining us. Anthony Robinson, Pastor Robert Ferrer, everybody, thank you so much for joining us for this edition. We're 7 days away from the presidential election. So I will be here on next Tuesday, election day, doing live coverage of the voting. We won't be live. We'll be live streaming, but we'll just be doing play by play. Have graphics come on the screen, and just talking about the vote. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much, and we will see you on the next episode of the Vote 2020 right here on Black News Undisputed. We'll see you next time. Go out and vote, guys. Please go out and vote.
God bless.